Timothy Bradley versus Brandon Rios is official for November. Saddam Ali, the #1 contender for the WBO title. If you don't know, Floyd Mayweather relinquished his WBO title that he won from Pacquiao. Timothy Bradley took on Jessie Vargas, and basically, you know, in what was a questionable final round, that we know that. Well, or we feel that Jessie Vargas would not have knocked Timothy Bradley out. But if you don't know, Timothy Bradley is no longer with Joya Diaz. In my opinion, it was the wife's reason why Joya Diaz is not around. I don't blame Joya Diaz. I actually blame Timothy Bradley, because Timothy Bradley was going out there trying to do things that Timothy Bradley was not, you know, capable of doing, as far as being this pressure fighter, power puncher, where, you know, his natural given ability is to be a boxer. So he has a new trainer. We don't know who the trainer is yet. It's rumored to possibly be maybe ESPN's Teddy Atlas, but that's not official yet. But when it comes to Brandon Rios, I'm thinking Timothy Bradley versus Brandon Rios. How is this fight going to play out? Now, if Timothy Bradley decides to go out there and fight Brandon Rios like he fought Ruslan Provodnikov, a lot of people may not want to believe it, but Timothy Bradley actually has a good chance of losing to Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios is a questionable fighter as far as skill is concerned, but he's no slouch, especially if you're right there waiting for him or allowing him to hit you. Now, both of these fighters, Timothy Bradley and Brandon Rios, did not look good against Diego Chaves. Diego Chaves is taking on Kell Brook, and in my opinion, you know, that's a very big fight because, okay, put it this way. I feel the winner of Timothy Bradley versus Brandon Rios will fight the winner of Kell Brook versus Diego Chaves. It makes perfect sense in my opinion, and the reason why is because both of these guys, Timothy Bradley, and despite how good Timothy Bradley is, and Brandon Rios, do not have a clear-cut win, you know, over a Diego Chaves. So if Kell Brook was to get a clear-cut win over Diego Chaves, which is a very tough fight, then you got Kell Brook, whose stock will rise, in my opinion, and it will set the table or the stage for a Timothy Bradley, Brandon Rios versus a Kell Brook or Diego Chaves unification fight. If you don't know, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live at RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. No venue has been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll likely be in Vegas or LA, of course. I'm predicting Timothy Bradley on the cards, even though we don't know how Timothy Bradley is going to look with a new trainer. In my opinion, Timothy Bradley needs to go back to being the boxer, the slick boxer that he was, the guy that fought Juan Manuel Marquez, and the guy, you know, that fought, well, not Devin Alexander, but basically he needs to go back to being a boxer. This is a guy who, in my opinion, has somewhat of an identity crisis. And, you know, I just feel that, okay, he's not vegan anymore. He was saying that maybe because he was on the vegan diet that was draining his power, or that he didn't feel as powerful. But still, he's just not genetically made up to be a guy that's going to go out there to be knocking guys out. So sometimes it bothers me to make me think like, well, why Timothy Bradley? Why are you going out here doing this to yourself when you're such a good boxer? Stick to boxing and stick to what you know. So on Brandon Rios, and Brandon Rios was heavily rumored to be fighting Kell Brook. I don't know what happened with that fight. I'm thinking that, you know, maybe Brandon Rios didn't want to go overseas and wanted Kell Brook to come over to the United States. But Brandon Rios going overseas, you know, would have probably lost a decision, you know, whether robbery or not, because I feel that Brandon Rios would have been a big test or a good test for Kell Brook, because Kell Brook hasn't fought anyone, you know, outside of Sean Porter to the level of a Brandon Rios. You know, so I can understand why he's fighting a Kell Brook, but that's a whole different video. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live with RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.